We got next. That's a slogan that rang out of the WNBA offices when the concept of the league was officially announced back in 1996. Well, it's now ringing again, this time around the streets of Toronto. The city has been awarded a WNBA franchise that is set to begin play in 2026. And joining us to talk about the news and its impact is Neil Lumsden, Ontario's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sports. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for allowing me to come in.
Today, you were at the announcement today. Tell us what that was like.
Well, as we expected, and you go to something like that, you expect a lot of energy, but I think the energy was actually more than even I anticipated. Sport always brings that enthusiasm and something around an announcement, but you know, Premier Ford was there, the Prime Minister was there. Everyone knew it was a big deal, and I think that there's a sense of the announcement is today, but there's so much more to come. It's going to resonate well before 2026 when they do get into the league and they start playing. And there's so much for them to do, but I think that, again, the ripple effect is going to continue until 2026 with so many opportunities for them to promote the team, promote the WNBA here in Toronto, and actually just it's Canada's team right now. So there's a lot there, even though a couple of the games will be played out west. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's going to be fabulous.
So what does this do for the economy here, or the potential impact it could have on the economy?
Well, that's a great question, and I think it's a couple-fold. And I think what you see is, and typically sports, is an energy around a franchise, what goes on, people that come from out of town. I mean, we have found out with the PWHL that people from not only in the core around the home team, but outside of it, they will travel, sport tourism, if you will, because of the energy and the newness. And you know, I spoke about this a little bit earlier, and none of this is a surprise to me. I think when you're talking about high-performance athletes, because that's exactly what we're talking about here, people appreciate, they see them on TV, and they want to be part of it. And as soon as your home team is part of it, and the Leafs are a great example. I mean, they pack the arena outside. There's thousands of people. There's an energy that goes with sport that is hard to match anywhere else. So I think economically, it's a great impact for that. I mean, for bars, restaurants, all the other things, merchandise. And maybe the most important is young women realizing that there's a chance to aspire to be a professional basketball player where before that might have never been thought of. And I've always thought that, you know, I mean, the top of the pyramid's really small, right? But it's getting there is what the important part is for any athlete. So young women have a chance to aspire to get to the WNBA, and on the way, achieve so much more from just a learning and understanding teamwork and leadership and responsibility. That's what sport does. And there's just so many good things that are going to come.
It's really powerful to be able to see someone who looks like you being able to achieve things that you're also passionate about, right? If you can see it, you can be it. At the end of the day, what message do you think this is sending to women and girls?
Well, I think exactly that. I think you framed it perfectly. I think back of when my kids were growing up, and both were athletes, and my son had an opportunity to go on and have a great career in two different sports. My daughter was a good athlete too, but I think she didn't see any pathway after that. And I think that stops people and takes them in another direction. We want them to go to university. We want them to play at an elite level at university. But then you want them to be able to say, hey, maybe I could do this as well. But it's that journey to get there that's the most important thing from maturing young people and getting them to understand responsibility. There are statistics out there that say that young women, young men who play and participate in team sports go on into a leadership position more often than not. And that's in a lot of ways because of what they've learned in the environment they've been in. And I think young women now, it's as they're inspired, and I think it'll resonate in so many different ways. And just, let's be honest, be a fan. And go watch again, high-performance athletes, the best in the world, right here in Toronto. These young women are going to, won't be taking it to the streets, but not a bad Doobie Brothers connection there, taking it to the streets, and the WNBA.
Okay, let's stick on the topic of inspirational here, because this was such a transformative year for Toronto PWHL too. We saw a historic game being played at Scotiabank Arena too. Is there any doubt that the city will not come out to support Toronto's WNBA team?
Well, not only in my mind is there a doubt, and I think the women's hockey has proved that across the board, not only in Toronto, but I think that it creates another relationship at home with mom and dad and their kids, or mom and their kids, or a dad taking the young girls out to a professional game, something that they can connect with emotionally too, and see, as you said a few minutes ago, see themselves. That's really important in sport. It was important to me as I was growing up. It was important, again, to my kids. My son had it, but it stopped for my daughter, and who knows what would have happened. And she's doing great, and she's a fantastic person. But these young women now, there'll be no stop. They can continue on and aspire to be what they want to be. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay, because as I said, there's not much room at the top of that pyramid. But to be part of that process, to get better, and to try to achieve something and have a goal, that's fantastic.
Priceless.
It is priceless.
I want to ask you really quickly, because as you mentioned, you were at this morning's announcement.
Yeah.
Got to mingle with some of the big names there today. Were you able to get any secrets for us in terms of names or color? I thought I would ask.
Well, you sure, go ahead and ask.
Did you?
No,
No.
I got nothing. No, there's lots of time for that, and I think though there was the common theme was a color. There was a lot of orange around.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, I don't know for sure,
Throwing
but
that out there.
maybe.
Maybe.
Just
okay.
maybe there's a lot of blue in this city. Maybe it's time for a couple
Some orange.
Yeah, I'll leave that with you.
We're going to hold on to that clip for future reference. I'm sure we'll learn more in the coming weeks, and we're 2 years away.
Oh, yeah,
so that is just around
lots
the
will be
corner.
going on.
Minister, thank you so much for taking the time to come in on this amazing day to talk about such an important and exciting topic. We really
I
appreciate it.
appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you.